an hour out of our week at the end of a week, hang out with one of our artists or designers.
Buenas a todos, chavales. Otro viernes más con el Star Citizen Live. Ahí vamos.
By one person who perhaps needs no introduction, and another person you've only just met for Star Citizen. Let's get to meeting them now before we get going. Jeremiah, Chance, welcome to Star Citizen Live. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Don't act like you don't know where the camera is, Jeremiah. You know where the camera is. I like your turn. Hi. So Jay Lee, before we get into it, every show is somebody's first show. So give us the nickel version. Who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
I am the resident meme lord of CIG. Also, I am AKA lead concept artist.
Lead concept artist with the character.
Bueno, ahí está. Director, bueno, manda más de arte de personajes de Star Citizen, ¿no? Que es el tipo que está diciendo.
Welcome to your first live show. Welcome to your first Star Citizen Live. Tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chance Rome, the character art director, and I'm here to give Jeremiah a bad time today, so it'll be fun.
That's legitimately how I got Chance on this show. It's like, hey, I reached out, I'm like, hey, Chance, we're doing this show with Jeremiah. And he goes, all right. He goes, you want to just hang out?
Vale, o sea que el de la derecha sería el director y el de la izquierda sería el líder, el cabeza, ¿no? Por lo que estoy escuchando.
No dots. It was just yes.
Straight up.
So Jeremiah, what are we making today?
So we're going to do a very interesting concept painting today. We'll be designing armors that were made from a survivalist in Pyro that would use parts off of a creature that we've shown before on the creature segment that Chance was in. So this person would be harvesting parts of this creature to...
Vale, dice que van a hacer una armadura de los supervivientes de Pyro y que van a hacer una armadura con los restos de las criaturas que habían enseñado como con piezas, con partes, con pieles, ¿no? Lo que pille, que es como que la idea es que el tipo irá recolectando las partes de los animales y haciéndose una armadura con eso.
As we go, you can drop questions into the chat by prefacing your question with the word question in capital letters, surrounded by brackets. Of course, we will only be doing questions related to the creation of our beast armor or things roughly relating to character team. Remember, we got two folks from the character team, so if you're asking...
Bueno, está comentando Discolando lo típico, ¿no? De que si queréis hacer preguntas o tal, pues que tenéis que hacerlas relacionadas con el tema y bueno, que se llama, por cierto, el Star Citizen Live Armaduras Bestia.
They might not be right.
No. You're wrong enough on your own without jumping into other people's things. So why don't you start your screen share, Jeremiah, and we'll get going.
Okay, so as always, every stream, a good concept artist always has reference. So I had to do a lot of thinking, a lot of digging. I was kind of curious.
Bueno, lo de siempre, que como buen artista concepto siempre tiene referencias y ahí vemos un montón de cosas que tiene, ¿no? De que recopila para poder sacar ideas y demás, aparte de la cara de Discolando, que es un clásico ya.
The type of craftsmanship that they put in. So the top left, I looked at a lot of post-apocalypse stuff where they put like random stuff together. Like this guy's got like street signs and stuff and some cool like little techie bits here and there. And I really like the usage of these pipes. So I kind of thought I'd incorporate that, especially Pyro being low gravity and also it's hardly breathable. I don't think you can breathe in. And so there were some cool like mechanical bits in here. And then also, I don't think I've ever done this before. I started looking at kind of like orc cosplay reenactment type of stuff because they...
Está comentando que está poniéndole como tubos y tal, haciendo referencia a lo de que Pyro es un ambiente poco respirable y como también como partes mecánicas porque hay baja gravedad y demás, ¿no? El tema del peso supongo que se referirá. Y luego también que está haciendo algo que es una referencia de pillar referencias de orcos por el tema de la armadura de bestias y demás, que es algo que nunca había hecho antes. Y luego también de la parte real, pues que está pillando lo que sería pues esto que estamos viendo en el rollo indios y demás.
Let's see. And then I just like these pants. That's why I put it in there. There's that. But then also I looked at a lot of the newer spacesuits that we have, new and old. I think this was for the Artemis, I think.
Y luego también
Moon.
que está teniendo en cuenta los nuevos trajes espaciales y los viejos. Que además podemos ver que bueno que este es el de SpaceX.
The SpaceX. So I wanted to kind of fuse all these together and see what kind of cool shapes we have. And the creature that we will be harvesting, I guess, is this creature, which is the
Vale, pues la criatura que estarán recolectando, de la que estarán recolectando materiales o partes para poder hacer la armadura, que será el cangrejo de Pyro, ¿no? El cangrejo madre, cangrejo reina, como se llame.
I hate you so much.
Babies are terrifying.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're the favorites. And also this tentacle thing too, what might be really cool to incorporate in some sort of way. So I'll be playing. I honestly don't have an actual like direction per se of like how like where I want to take it. So we'll kind of explore it together, and then we also have chance.
Vale, dice que no tiene una clara dirección de lo que quiere componer, pero que vamos a explorarlo juntos y demás.
This plate, I don't want to start off in a white background.
God damn it.
So I got so we got this image right here. So this is our base RSI Odyssey suit, and also this helmet is one of our oh man, I forgot the name of it. It was one of our heavy outlaw
Citadel.
armors. I think it's a good place to start. So I quickly did a little filter and paint over on it real quick, and so we'll be designing the armor on top of this. Yeah.
All right. You go ahead and get started. I'm just going to add HR to the call.
Why? Why?
All right. So Chance, as an art director, Jeremiah starts with an idea here. We've got our brief. We've got the basics of our brief. Start exploring the types of armors that can be created using this particular creature. Do you at this point do you just let Jeremiah go off and be crazy? Is this the time where you offer advice and feedback before he gets started? How does this process work?
Yeah, I mean, usually we do a kickoff meeting and we just start discussing at a high level what our thoughts are on it. Like, as an example, like, would we want to use the little heads off those baby crabs in the thing? And I'm probably not. I mean, we want this thing to look appealing at the end of the day, and I think it just kind of ruined the whole design, honestly. So what I think, we usually talk about is like, what would make sense here? What would we want to stay away from? Just initial direction. But I also don't want to be so prescriptive to be like, this is exactly what we're going to do, and Jeremiah, don't be creative at all. So there's enough to get going.
Pero está comentando que qué es lo que hace Jeremiah con el director, ¿no? De qué hablan o cómo enfocan el proyecto. Entonces dice que, bueno, que en un principio lo que hacen es como acotar un poco, tener claro lo que quieren hacer y de lo que se quieren alejar. Y bueno, pero que tampoco quiere marcarle un camino demasiado estricto para no minar la creatividad, o sea, dejarle algo de cancha para que también tenga su parte creativa, ¿no, Jeremiah?
Thrown through the furnace. You test everything you can. You see what comes out. A concept artist often iterate, 10, 15, 20 times, and they do this work so that all of the other artists down the line don't have to. Don't have to. It's to find that blueprint or roadmap for everybody else down the pipeline. And I'm just endlessly fascinated by that.
Está escrito
I'm supposed to talk.
La cantidad de iteraciones que hace un artista de concepto para probar diferentes cosas o hacer diferentes muestras. Pues eso, para tratar de sacar una idea en claro y demás. Y que luego pues una vez está hecho el producto final, si se hace un producto final que no es el adecuado, pues haciéndolo en concepto, pues ahorra mucho tiempo para poder escoger opciones o direcciones que realmente gusten, ¿no? Para no tener que hacerlo después, una vez esté ya acabado el producto, que sería una locura.
Might be really cool.
Well, it can also be built from a section of the skull of the creature, which may not not actually include that beak, just like how a human skull doesn't have the nose.
Right.
So. as far as the questions that are coming through, the first request that came through almost immediately is whether we could include any of the fangs or the tentacles in the helmet.
Yeah,
Si podemos incluir
I mean,
algún
we
tentáculo
could.
en el casco. Está diciendo si podemos incluir algún tentáculo en el casco o alguno de los colmillos en el casco, está comentando, ¿no?
The settlers in Pyro, without spoiling too much, like they live in a very harsh environment, and so yeah, they probably would have some flourishes here and there, but I don't think they would I don't think they'd run around like this for no reason.
Right.
Right. It would have to serve some sort of function. So we can think about how we can incorporate that. So if we can find a really good excuse on the functionality of it, then yeah. Because thing is, for me personally, if I had free reign to do whatever I want, all right, I would just I would give it spikes and like he's got like a little whip and a little foxtail.
No.
But it's the biggest thing is the thing that really sells a cool design is when you hint at functionality, and coming up with new ideas from that.
Now you're starting with the helmet here. Is when you do these things, do you always start with the helmet, or is that just in this case something that kind of jumped out at you?
No, I normally start with the helmet, and the reason why is because we as a species we communicate by looking at the eyes and the face, and so when you talk to somebody or when you see somebody first, you don't look at their feet or their hands first.
Right.
Most of the time, you look at their face because that's how you identify people. And helmets is the same thing. If you're wearing glasses or something, your eyes will go there first, and then your brain will swap to whatever it's interested next. And so for me, when I concept something, the helmet is always the most important thing, and then I try to have the armor or everything below follow through afterwards. Unless there's a specific lore reason or design reason for something else to be more important.
Right. Now, we don't actually have a designer with us on the show today, so as far as gameplay implications, we can't really talk. There are some questions in there about whether beast armor might give any perks over other armors and stuff. That would be the purview of the active feature.
Bueno, está diciendo de que está diciendo de que no van a hablar de mecánicas de juego, bueno, porque una de las cosas que le pregunté, aunque parece una tontería, que me llama la atención, es si han considerado como propiedad de que la armadura, pues en este caso tenga olor, ¿no? Es decir, que si igual tienes ese olor, pues igual te ayuda a camuflarte entre los cangrejitos y tal, y que no te despiece en vivo, no lo sé.
High reward for if you are successful, and so that's something we're just in discussion about. Is well, maybe for example, the shell, is a craftable resource, and you could do something with it, or maybe it's also quite valuable, and you could trade this for other things. The plan for Pyro is that it's a very harsh environment, a lot of radiation, all kinds of solar storms, and so maybe this hardened shell is something that would protect you from those kind of elements and stuff like that.
Que está diciendo que quizás una de las propiedades de armadura podría ser que debido a esta concha, que como vive en un entorno en un ambiente bastante hostil, que la concha te proteja de las radiaciones solares o que tenga algún tipo de propiedad que mejore la supervivencia del personaje.
Thinking about an old movie from the 80s called Enemy Mine right now, where Louis Gossett Jr. and Dennis Quaid used to take these indigenous sand beetle things and then use them they built a house out of them, they built armor out of them. It was one of the primary resources available to them on an otherwise barren and desolate world. So they found as many uses for them as they could.
Yep.
Está hablando de una película que no he visto cuál era, de simplemente que encontraron un ambiente hostil y que gracias a los animales pues pudieron como vestirse y hacer ropajes o aprovechar todo lo que podían, ¿no? Para sobrevivir. Pero no me acuerdo de la película que estaba hablando.
To this crab, Chance?
Yeah. So we started off first of all with the location. We knew that it was going to be Pyro 1 in this case, and that helped us with a lot of things and just deciding like what would make sense on a planet like this. The discussions that we had is like, well, is this, did this animal develop naturally, or was this, something that was seeded on the planet? In this case, it is. It's supposed to be naturally occurring on this planet, and it's evolved, with these conditions in mind. We knew we wanted a predator, so this thing lives off of hunting other prey that's on this planet, or maybe also humans in this case. And then the other part that we decided upon was the large one you see in the image is the queen of.
Bueno, está comentando un poco de lo que es cómo surgió la idea o cómo está ubicado lo que es el tema de este bicho, ¿no? De este cangrejo. Y bueno, que en realidad estaban discutiendo si era pues una especie traída desde fuera o si se había creado un Pyro, y si efectivamente parece ser que la criatura. La idea es que ha nacido en Pyro, ha evolucionado en Pyro. Y que querían hacer definitivamente un predador debido a las condiciones hostiles que hay. Incluso pues una de las presas que podría ser humanos, ¿no? Que se alimente de carne humana también. Y bueno, que estaba comentando que si ya lo sabías, que pues el cangrejo este que lo habían comentado otra vez, que supuestamente es la reina.
What other creatures might exist on these planets and stuff. Like,
Es un cangrejo
example,
reina, ¿no?
what are the prey animals this thing eats? We haven't got to that point yet. So.
Parts of it look like parts of it look like they glow. Is there a bioluminescence?
Claro, lo que sí que está comentando todavía es que no han llegado al punto de averiguar. O sea, sí que tienen lo que son las presas pensadas, más o menos, pero que todavía no saben lo que. O sea, no saben lo que quieren que coman las presas, ¿no? Digamos, pues los herbívoros, por así decirlo, otras presas más pequeñas, que se cepille este bicho, pues que no saben qué tipo de alimentación van a tener todavía.
If that's the way we go, this also would play into the gameplay aspect of it. In other words, you could go shoot a whole cluster of the little ones. You're not going to get any, any resources off of them the same way you would if you do the more difficult task of fighting one of the queens, right? So there's the reward is not there for the little ones as much.
So because the little ones are more vulnerable, they rely on their obvious attractiveness, as seen in Jaylee's picture there, as a defense mechanism. Like, why would you kill me? Look at how attractive I am.
Bueno, está comentando que a la hora de obtener cualquier tipo de recurso o obtener cualquier tipo de recurso, pues que en principio tendríamos que matar a la reina, ¿no? Que con los pequeños no sería, o sea, no daría los recursos que daría la reina necesarios para hacer este tipo de armadura. Están hablando de la idea en el futuro de que realmente pues se pueda como recolectar partes que sean útiles. O sea, están hablando en resumidas cuentas de crafteo, ¿no? Parece ser. Expandiendo las opciones del crafteo, ¿no?
The design would be kind of cool since it's all found
Oh, yeah,
objects,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's not manufactured, but
What if they want to look cool? I'm just kidding.
Asymmetry
No, I agree.
is cool.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
I
trying to
think
see. Yeah, they've got like little like spikes here too. I think I should
Yeah.
incorporate a little bit more of that on the carapace stuff. Do they need, like, maybe they took
Yeah.
one part? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one big pauldron.
Yeah. I'm thinking also, like, maybe like they might have bolted some things, but maybe they also put like strapped some things together. Yeah. So that'll
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I think they'd have to, if they cut these shells off, they'd have to then modify them,
Mhm.
hooking some sort of like straps to them and other things to fasten them and stuff. So
Yeah.
There's no guarantee each part.
Claro, están hablando un poco de que las correas, que claro, que se supone que serían como partes de las conchas como modificadas o trabajadas, y que tenían que tener algún tipo de correas como para poder añadirlas. Por eso está dibujando las correas, para que estuviera sentido que estuvieran sosteniéndose al personaje, ¿no?
Them running around, but
Yeah.
that's just one of the unfortunate side effects of running an MMO. It's still during a design though.
Oh, Dios mío, Relker.
You're still encouraged by the origin.
Esa armadura es la que
idea,
tienes que
which
llevar la
is
cangreburger.
a completely individualized, look.
Yeah, I'm actually.
I was thinking at this point, the only thing that we've shown publicly, as far as the denizens of the Pyro system, were the Overlord armors that were provided to subscribers in the last couple months, based on the Overlord Vigilante gang that the lore team developed for Pyro. A very rough and tumble look.
Está comentando que lo único que tienen todavía de Pyro que han enseñado, que han mostrado realmente es el tema de las armaduras de las Overlord, las que daban de suscriptores.
It's cool and all, but it's kind of boring.
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, I think we can push it a little bit.
All right. So, Chance, at this point, what's Jeremiah doing wrong?
Everything.
Everything.
I'm taking notes. It's going
Oh,
into
no!
review. Yeah.
No!
All annual review.
You've found the bane of my existence, Jared. I shall repay it in double fold one day. I shall
Ahora
get
están
you.
haciendo,
I'm pretty sure.
ahora están haciendo lo típico que hacen cuando alguien está diseñando, ¿no? Que están comentando así, pues, ¿qué te parece cómo va? O pues estoy haciendo esto, estoy haciendo aquello. No están comentando nada relevante, ¿vale?
Got some general shapes in here. I'm thinking maybe if I can just push the envelope a little bit, maybe I'll add. Now the silhouette, like it's very similar to this, so like I kind of want to push it even more. The cheap route is just to add pipes everywhere.
Sí, que le va a añadir como tuberías por todos los lados, porque
Sí.
dice que la silueta es muy parecida a la derecha.
We're seeing a lot of questions about a cape. Seems folks want the tentacles as a cape, or to form some kind of cape.
Capes? Dude, I've done so many capes.
I know. Not everything needs a cape, although capes are cool.
I mean, capes always make things look super majestic. And
Claro,
like
está
really
diciendo de que las capas siempre
badass,
hacen
like I say
todo
badass, right?
parecer súper majestuoso, ¿no? La verdad es que a mí me molaría llevar capas.
Too.
Yeah. What if what if it's less a cape and just like two of those largest tentacle things just draped back and glowing from behind or something.
Si en vez de tener la capa que tenga los tentáculos.
Chat
o algo
also
así.
asks if this would be easier to do in ZBrush instead of Photoshop.
It depends. For me, when I concept, when I'm doing like a bunch of like what do you call it, blue sky stuff where I have no idea what it is, Photoshop is the fastest and most efficient tool to do these things, just because how quickly I can change things. For ZBrush, it's as much as I love the program, and I do, you're a lot slower in making variations, right? Because like sculpting something like this could potentially take maybe 5 minutes when I can just do it in 3 seconds.
Está comentando le han hecho una pregunta de si prefiere utilizar Photoshop o sea, si prefiere utilizar ZBrush en vez de Photoshop. Le está comentando que a la hora de hacer este tipo de bocetos, este tipo de trabajos, en los que no sabe muy bien cuál es la dirección, que es mucho más rápido hacerlos en Photoshop porque puede hacer cambios que aquí le llevan 3 segundos y en ZBrush le llevarían a hacer 5 segundos, no hacer los arreglos.
Refine the heck out of it.
Right. Now, one of the things I've discovered through the 6 years here at CIG now is that we're very accommodating as far as letting the artists work in the tools that work best for them. You know, we have an entire tools team dedicated that's separated across several studios, dedicated to building all the different converters and importers and stuff necessary to let artists work in the things that allow them to be most effective, and then bring that in. So.
Está comentando y escolando que en Cloud Imperium Games tienen, o sea, son muy abiertos en el sentido de permitir que los diseñadores utilicen las herramientas que ellos dominen mejor o que les sea más cómodo trabajar, y que tienen un equipo dedicado a hacer herramientas para diseñar las conversiones, para poder utilizar, o sea, para poder hacer importaciones de los materiales necesarios, pero bueno, que el detalle ese de que le dejen esa libertad a los creadores es importante. Al final, si ellos se sienten cómodos, van a hacer un mejor trabajo.
To solve the problem, and they'll pick whichever program or workflow is the most efficient. to get the job done.
Mhm.
Because if you're like, hey, I only do ZBrush, I'm gonna be like, hey, I need 10 of these sketches by 6 p.m. You know, they're gonna struggle a little bit, right? Because they might not have enough time. Or I might be like, hey, I need you to figure out the anatomy of this thing, but I need you to be very specific, right? Or like maybe a specific like a character modeler needs more context of what something is. Maybe you do it in Photoshop, maybe you do it in ZBrush, maybe you actually sculpt on top of their mesh just to help them out. So like it really depends. There never is like one method of doing concept, because it's just ideas at the end of the day. I kind
Claro,
of
está diciendo que a la hora de decir, por ejemplo, que tengas que hacer unos arreglos en un personaje o porque tengas que recargarlo más o dar algo más de propósito, digamos. Pues que nunca hay una herramienta favorita para hacer ese tipo de cosas, que puede ser simplemente Photoshop o simplemente ZBrush o cualquier otro tipo de herramienta, simplemente hacerlo por encima de la malla, por ejemplo, del personaje, ¿no? Que nunca hay, o sea, que nunca hay siempre una sola herramienta para hacerlo todo, sino que simplemente pues la que en ese momento surge y al final del día que simplemente son un fluir de ideas, ¿no?
Like, what other things are they scavenging from? Like
yeah.
other humans, other things like that. Like, I think that stuff would be cool to think about.
I'm also thinking like these guys would be like going around collecting stuff, so they probably would have a backpack of some sorts.
Está pensando que el tipo que está diseñando, que puede que se dediquen a coleccionar cosas, cosa que me mola por el tema de la merchant Banu y demás, ya sabéis, y que está poniéndole una mochila, ¿no? La verdad es que me gustaría mucho que el día de mañana pues podamos ir a cualquier lugar y de repente pues buscar cosas raras o ponerlas a la venta en la Merchantman y incluso tener un amigo exploración que te pegue el toque y te diga, oye, tienes que ver esto tal, yo creo que esto le podemos sacar guita, hay que mirarlo, ¿no? Porque es algo muy raro, muy exclusivo. Me molaría encontrar cosas así en el verso.
It's away.
Okay, let's see. I think this is like good enough just for like a sketch, and then we can kind of like pick our favorite one, kind of like how we did our last
Sure.
our last session. That way, because I could just start rendering this, but I think what's more important is just coming up with some cool shapes or some ideas.
Sure.
So I just move on to the next one.
There have been, if you want to take any requests from the community here, there are a lot of folks asking for a shield.
Mucha gente preguntando por un escudo, si quiere pillar algo de
A
feedback de la
shield?
comunidad.
Yeah, like take the like imagine the plate that's there on one of its knees, taken off wholesale is like a shield.
Interesante. Un escudo ahí todo pepino.
Like that?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Sure. Chance, you cool with that?
It's a little big.
Yeah, it can be smaller and be like
we'll
like
shave it off.
like Captain America's thing from Infinity War.
Podría
Where
ser,
it was
más,
just a much-
podría ser más pequeño, dice Disconando, como el Capitán América de Infinity War, ¿no?
Actually saw a little bit of the hands, that way he can actually grab stuff
Yeah.
if he wanted to. It's a little too saturated for me right now. Okay, that's cool. And I'm thinking maybe this one, maybe we don't need to necessarily. Maybe we could do something like that, because this is kind of, wait, they're circular eyes, right?
Now this color palette you've chosen, the blues and the grays, this you took this from the concept art.
No. So this was just from the base undersuit. I don't necessarily choose the color just yet, because I'm just looking at shapes and like the silhouette. And so what I'll normally do is, after I have a couple shapes that I want, then I'll color them in what I think is most appropriate. It looks kind of derpy.
Yeah.
So, Chance, we haven't had much opportunity to get to know you on streams and videos yet. How did you get started in the business? Where did you come from? You know, you don't need to share your whole life story or whatever, but whatever you're comfortable sharing with folks. Like what can you tell us so folks get a better sense of who you are?
Yeah, sure. I actually have my degree in illustration. I originally, when I was in high school, I was very into comics and actually was interested in becoming a comic book artist. And it was actually when I was in art school that I learned a little more about games. You have to remember this is in the 90s when when video game careers are not exactly a thing that schools were teaching.
Yeah.
So, but I ended up I've been playing games my whole life and was like, oh, this is actually seems even better. Taught myself 3D and I got my start in the industry in 1997. But most of my career has been in characters. I've done vehicles, worked on quite a few different companies and games. Yeah, I've worked at EA, worked at Riot Games for a long time. Yeah, it's definitely love the industry. We're all pretty privileged to be.
Está comentando en chat de que lo está preguntando Discord que se presente un poco, qué es lo que hacía y tal. Y dice que bueno, allí por los 90 que se sacó tiene un título en ilustración, se sacó un título en ilustración y demás en la escuela de arte. Y comentaba que al principio estaba interesado por el mundo de los cómics y tal, pero también le atraía el mundo de los videojuegos porque había jugado videojuegos toda su vida y luego fue cuando se fue acercando al 3D allá por el 1997. Y que bueno, que ha participado diseñando vehículos y también ha participado en otros juegos y que aquí está.
Yeah. No, when Chance first started, I immediately reached out because I'm like, somebody my own age, somebody my age. I think one of the first things we bonded over was G.I. Joe and the Defiant versus the Flag, if I remember correctly.
This is true. Yeah, it was a very very upsetting Christmas when the neighbor kid got the USS Flag and I didn't get it. Was like I remember the catalog. It's a 6-foot long aircraft carrier, and I'm like, oh, all of my dreams, right?
Bueno, están hablando de que por fin Discolando, pues cuando entró Chance a trabajar a Cloud Hyperion Games, pudo tener a alguien de su edad, ¿no? Porque toda la gente era como más joven. Y están hablando de juguetes que había de G.I. Joes de pequeño y de un tema de regalos y tal, de que parece ser que todos querían una colección que venía con la bandera de Estados Unidos o algo así. Y bueno, que parece ser que todos los niños por aquel momento de allí donde vivían ellos, que de su zona, ¿no? Pues que era algo interesante, ¿no? Que todos los niños lo querían tener. Más que era interesante que todos los niños lo querían tener, el juguetito de las narices.
G.I. Joe figures, so yeah. Yes, it's true.
And now I'm in my 40s and I'm still trying to get my
same thing.
Yeah, still doing the same thing.
Still mowing lawns.
Yeah.
Está comentando Discolando que está en sus 40. O sea, que debe tener 40 y pico Discolando, por lo que comenta.
About what I do and going around mowing people's lawns. All right, so first thing we notice here, Jeremiah, is you've got the tentacles off the back of the helmet, which folks seem to be responding well to in the chat.
Just got a little bit of a...
Está comentando de que ahora se han puesto los tentáculos en el casco y que la gente ha respondido positivamente a ese añadido, ¿no? De tenerlos ahí en el casco.
Austin Studio, she's helping go through the chats. She just commented, "I was 2 when he started in the game industry." And I don't know if she meant that for public consumption, and if you didn't, Molly, I apologize. But it just made me feel very old. So.
Estaba comentando Molly de que, por lo visto, hizo un comentario, la chica esta que hace el tema del lore y todo eso, ¿no? Y la Galactapedia y demás. Que cuando empezó Discolando a trabajar en la industria del videojuego, que ella tenía como 2 años, parece ser, algo así. Que eso le hizo sentir muy anciano a Discolando, comenta.
Both projects I worked on were canceled, so. Yeah, that was a.
Yeah, that happens.
It happens
quite often, actually.
It does.
More than what people do.
Yes, everybody in the chat, if you haven't already, say hi to Molly. She's on the line today, doing good work. Question about process, Jeremiah. What hardware are you working on right now? Are you on a tablet? You on a Clinique? You're on a Wacom? What are you using?
I'm
right now?
on a Wacom tablet right now at home. I actually was exclusively only using the tablet, but then a lot of the character artists use Cintiqs in the office, and so I converted, and I miss it very much. I don't have a Cintiq at home, but it's also like it's just a lot of space, and so I like the compact tablet.
Well, you
But at
pick,
the office, I use the Cintiq.
well, pick a day and time. I'll go in with you. I'll distract Dennis.
Bueno, imagino que dice que está utilizando para trabajar, dice que está utilizando una tablet ahora mismo en casa, pero pero que en el trabajo se estaba acostumbrando a utilizar un aparato que se llama Cintiq. Se estaba convirtiendo porque el resto de los rayos lo utilizaban y tal, y ahora lo echa de menos, pero que ocupa demasiado en su casa y que solo puede utilizar una tablet. No sé qué es el Cintiq, imagino que será el aparato este tocho enorme para poder utilizar, o sea, que es como una pantalla enorme, ¿no? Para poder dibujar, creo que es eso, pero habría que buscarlo.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Don't ask me.
All right.
The only thing close to a sponsorship I ever got was I got sent a care package from Whataburger for mentioning him on Reverse the Verse once, way back in the day.
And also the DX Racer, right?
I got a DX Racer chair,
Yeah.
and I got a care package from Whataburger, which is the hoodie that I just realized I'm actually wearing the shirt right
You're
now.
actually
that they
wearing the
sent.
shirt,
I'm
yeah.
actually wearing I'm wearing the Whataburger spicy ketchup shirt that Whataburger sent me unrequested when I raved about them on Reverse the Verse back in 2015.
You know who I'm sponsored by?
Who are you sponsored by?
Rondo, the Thirst Mutilator.
CIG. Sorry.
I appreciate your reference, a chance.
All right, good.
Question for Chance from the chat here. How do we balance pure functionality with the rule of cool? What is there a formula?
¿Cómo se equilibra la funcionalidad pura de lo que sería el buen aspecto, ¿no? ¿Cómo hacen ese equilibrio?
So in regards to this armor design, or just in
general? In general.
Well, I mean, there are limitations that we have to abide by. I mean, every project is different. For us, for most of our assets, for the clothing for the people, it needs to be modular, so you can mix and match the pieces. And so we do have volumes and zones that we have to abide by if it is swappable pieces. So in that regard, like some of the things even we're doing here might not play by those rules. So that is that's something to consider. But at the end of as far as the cool factor, at the end of the day, if we're not excited about it, then it's we're not going to do it. I think that's the kind of the balance you have to take. And as far as like the what I think is important for Star Citizen is the immersion, the realism. If it's too fantastical to the point of just being like silly and outrageous, it's not going to fit with like what everything else is. We made a but that's in every project you're on, that's going to be a different balance that you have to take, where like for example, we're not going to create something that doesn't fit into lore, right? We're not just going to plug something in and it's not going to there has to be a back.
Que está comentando que a la hora de que encaje todo en el juego, que tienen que tener, o sea, que primeramente que hacen como las piezas modulares para poder, tienen que tener en cuenta que son modulares, pues tienen que intercambiarse las piezas de armadura y demás. Y luego el tema de que tienen que tener en cuenta el lore, de que la pieza vaya a encajar en el lore y que no rompa la inmersión. O sea, que en el caso concreto de Star Citizen, pues tiene que parecer algo creíble, que si es demasiado fantasioso, pues tienen que evitarlo, obviamente. Y luego, que si una vez acaban el concepto, si no se sienten entusiasmados con el resultado, aunque sea muy funcional todo lo que quieras, si no se sienten entusiasmados, que no sigan adelante, que si no provoca ninguna emoción, ¿no?
I shouldn't say a lot of folks. One of the questions that came through was how did you get started as a concept artist, and what kind of things are you looking for when you're hiring a concept artist?
Well, for me personally, it's well, obviously the style definitely helps, because Star Citizen, we've been, well, at least I've been in CIG for like almost, I think, a little over 5 years now, and so I helped kind of establish, at least on the character front, the style and the look, and as long as the candidates, as long as Chance and I are confident that the people who want to join the Star Citizen team can execute in that specific look and style, then that's kind of like where we like to start the conversation of potentially working with us, because there is a specific look, right? And like, as much as I love like the Disney and the animation style, I think some paintings that people do are gorgeous and are super inspiring. That might not that probably won't translate well with the realistic look, sci-fi look that we have for Star Citizen. So there's that. But also it's the second thing is, for the thing that I look out for is when concept artists, when they do art, when they work in their portfolio, is how far did they think into the functionality of their design? Is it just cool, or did they actually think about like the little details? And concept artists, they have to be, in a weird way, great storytellers, because you're telling a story through whatever your character or the scene you're trying to paint. Right? So
Bueno, está comentando que a la hora de buscar, o sea, le están preguntando que qué es lo que buscan a la hora de contratar un artista de concepto o qué perfil buscan. Y está comentando de que J-Lead lleva ya como unos 5 años trabajando para Star Citizen y que ha ayudado a sentar las bases del estilo. Que una de las cosas que se fijarían en la hora de contratar a alguien sería en el estilo que desarrolla, que encaje en lo que es el universo de Star Citizen, porque lo que comentaba antes, si es demasiado fantasioso no tendría sentido, no tendría lugar. Y que sí, que evidentemente ha visto pues creaciones de gente que son muy, muy inspiradoras o paisajes increíbles y demás, pero que a veces pues se hace difícil trasladar o traducir eso en lo que es el arte del juego, por esa característica de realismo. Y la segunda cosa en la que se fijaría para contratar a gente sería en cuán grande es su visión de cara a la funcionalidad a la hora de realizar un diseño, porque no importa si aquellos, o sea, es decir, si solo es simplemente muy molón y ya está, o si realmente si realmente está pensando la funcionalidad de las piezas o de los diseños a la hora de desarrollar el artista ese concepto, ¿no?
Like having a reference board it's just good to have for inspiration. And also I try not to have concept art or like illustrations as a reference, just because sometimes like they can be a little too whimsical, but photos are actual real
Right.
world.
Yeah.
Right. So like these are actually crafted.
The stuff on the left is the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So I could use that. So it's at least like whatever I'm drawing is based on reality. So
Claro,
like,
dice que
No,
una
no,
de las,
definitely this.
dice que una de las cosas que hace también a la hora de trabajar J-Lead es que evita el utilizar fuentes de inspiración de conceptos y demás, porque no sé, o sea, sería como demasiado alejado de la realidad, por decirlo de alguna manera, y que prefiere utilizar productos reales para precisamente acercarse, ¿no? a esa realidad, ya que el Star Citizen pues tiene que basarse en algo real, o es lo que pretende.
I think that might be cool, Jim. I was like thinking about like what you know, if they came a lot across like derelicts or other things that, right, like, so, you know, that how long have these guys been surviving in this very harsh world?
No, en realidad,
right.
That kind of thing.
En realidad es Discolando y el otro que se están soltando cosas, yo creo.
Suit that's, you know, not been modified over time, because it's like if something breaks and you don't have, like, you can't just buy a new one.
Pienso,
You have
no
to
sé
keep
seguro
that
de
thing
Relquier, pero
going,
yo
you
creo
know?
que es
So
eso,
if
que
he's
se están
stuck
escribiendo.
in this system,
Se están escribiendo cosas el uno al otro.
what would it look like?
O alguien más está escribiendo
One
por
thing,
ahí.
Jared, you was asked in the last question about like what we look for in concept artists, I can speak to that a little bit. One of the things that I, when I went to GDC and given reviewed portfolios and stuff that I have mentioned is I think too often concept art gets confused with illustration.
Oh,
And
Right.
this is a really important thing, is that making beautiful illustrations, that's one thing. And, but concept art is about the ideas, right? And what I love to see in a portfolio is show me all the steps that, from the first round to the thing getting created, right? And that is really helps me know, how this person is as far as like just coming up with cool ideas, right? And I think like, versus like you found reference and you painted, you did a pretty painting, you did a pretty illustration. That's not concept art. Concept art is coming up with all of the great ideas, and then, as to Jeremiah's point, what's the thought behind them? How would they work? How would they, that's.
Que está comentando algo también añadiendo a lo que es a la hora de buscar un artista de concepto para contratar, que no sirve que simplemente pongan unas imágenes chulas y ya está, ¿no? Que lo que realmente busca es el cómo llegar hasta ahí. Pues ilustración, o sea, una cosa es una ilustración o dedicarse a la ilustración, y otra cosa es el artista de concepto, que se trata en tratar de plasmar ideas, tratar de componer ideas. Entonces, que a la hora de ese proceso de elaboración de cómo ha llegado esa imagen, que eso es lo que realmente a él le interesa ver en un portfolio, para saber cómo esa persona se enfrenta a las ideas o trae esas ideas a la realidad, ¿no? Todo el trabajo ese que trae, pues ese proceso de adaptación de la persona para trasladar las ideas a algo tangible como lo que están haciendo aquí, pues es lo que se busca en un artista de concepto.
Often comes up whenever we show concept art, and this is not unique to Cloud Imperium and Star Citizen. It's concept art for anything. It's that a lot of times, concept artists are asked to realize an idea that's in somebody else's head as much as they are go crazy and inspire us to other ideas.
Yeah.
So so a lot of times that's what we call that blue sky stuff. It's like we don't know what we want to do as far as like if it's a movie, like we're still exploring ideas for stories. Maybe we'll go this way, maybe we'll go in this direction, and they'll have concept artists just explore ideas visually. Just like, oh, that would be cool. And as a good scene can inspire a good story in that regards. So it's like whenever you get the art of Star Wars books, you see a lot of stuff that has no parallel in any of the movies that you see. It's like, what is this? What is it? Like, we never saw anything remotely like this in the movie. And that's usually from those blue sky times where they're just exploring and trying to inspire the writers and the producers and stuff like that to stuff. But
You know what? I'm gonna do a crazy one because I don't have time.
do it.
Está comentando de que, claro, que también un artista de concepto que también tiene la parte de eso de los cielos azules, que le llaman el blue sky, la parte de blue sky, que es en plan, pues cuando por ejemplo se hace una película como Star Wars y demás, y luego ves todos los libros de concepto que hay, que te das cuenta de que hay cosas que se hacen para inspirar a lo que son la gente que hace el lore o la gente que hace las historias, pero que realmente el trabajo también importante del artista de concepto es sacar las ideas de la cabeza de otra persona para ponerlas en los conceptos, ¿no?, que vemos. Que no simplemente es, venga, voy a hacer, imaginar y tal, no, sino simplemente es tratar de tomar las ideas y tratar de llevarlas al papel, ¿no?
They're like, hey, we just need something, figure it out, and then we have to.
That's what I was saying
figure
at the
it out,
beginning.
yeah.
Like the concept artists tank. They tank all of the. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not indecisiveness. That's not the right word. That's not the right word. It's all of the exploration. It's all of the discovery. They tank discovery for everybody else, so that everybody else has a much more solid idea of what it is that they're building and working on. It's like, because it would be terrible. It's a lot easier to change a Photoshop file than it is to change a fully realized 3D model
Right.
of armor or a ship. So you tank a lot of the challenges during game development. And while not specifically with Jeremiah, I appreciate that from everybody else.
I don't know. Actually, I talked to my mom about the concept life, and she was like, "Why do you like your job?" And I'm like, "Ah, I love my job." It's like, "But I saw your video, and so many of your art didn't get approved." And I was like, "Yeah, this is part of the process, Mom." It's like, "Do you like being told that you're doing a bad job?" I'm like, "No, Mom, that's not what they're saying." It's like, "Why do you?" Dude, she
Yep.
still doesn't get it.
Yep.
She still.
Yeah, yeah.
Bueno, está comentando de que, de que eh, parte del trabajo de los artistas de concepto también es absorber todo lo que son las fallas de los procesos de creación, en el sentido de, para evitar el tener que hacer modelos y remodelos 3D, pues que, o muchas ideas que son fallidas, eso todo es absorbido de alguna manera por los artistas de concepto. Es una parte muy importante en el desarrollo, ¿no? Yo le estaba contando una historia al Jelly sobre, aparte que están... Es que estaban haciendo unos gritos absurdos ahora, pero bueno. Que también estaba comentando una historia sobre su madre, ¿no? Porque le preguntó, porque vio un vídeo y dice, pero oye, ¿a ti te gusta tu trabajo, Gili? Sí, sí, me gusta tu trabajo. Solo te vi un vídeo en el que te estaban rechazando todo el trabajo que hacías y tal. Y dice, pero sí, sí me gusta. Pero ¿te gusta que te digan constantemente que tu trabajo no sirve para nada? Y dice, no, no, madre, no es eso, no. Es parte del proceso, ¿no? Porque al final es hacer cantidad de cosas y de ese fruto de diferentes ensayos pues saldrán cosas seleccionadas para poner finalmente en el juego.
Definitely not, because I just wanted to put something there to break the silhouette.
Un tabardo, oh Dios mío.
I was just trying, like, describe concept art in one word.
Describir artista de concepto con una
It's
palabra.
so
Y
accurate.
están-
It is-
Describir artista de concepto con una palabra. Están haciendo ese gemido loquísimo.
Like, hey, what do you think?
The worst is silence.
Yes.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
That is the worst.
And then you're like, okay, well, maybe they're not super into it, but the worst. Seriously, that's the worst.
You know, we talked about that with Gavin Rothery, a vehicle concept artist,
Madre mía.
last week. That when you're making art, you want a reaction. I mean, yeah, you pull for a positive reaction, but even a negative reaction means that you were pushing things. You know, it
Yeah.
may have gone in a direction you ultimately didn't want, but sometimes it's really important during the concept phase to figure.
Sí, estaban diciendo, discolando, que una cosa importante de cuando haces una obra de arte es tener algún tipo de reacción. Evidentemente siempre buscas por la reacción a favor, pero que si hay una reacción negativa, que eso significa que has estado apretando las cosas, ¿no? Y que también puedes aprender y de esa manera pues descartar cosas que no gustan.
From their clients or who their boss, right? So, like, for instance, if Chance was like, "Hey, Jeremiah, I don't like that," a good concept artist will be like, as a problem solver, will be like, "Okay, what do you not like about this?" Right? Or being like, "So, or were you thinking about something else?" Or, you know what I mean? Instead of just sitting there and just being like, "Oh, back to the drawing board." You need some sort of direction. That way, at least the time you spent on said thing is not a waste of time.
Yeah, that's very true. I think, learning how to translate feedback is, I think, one of the most important things. Like, because
Claro, está diciendo que a la hora de realizar un trabajo y enseñárselo al director, pues una de las cosas que hace Jelly es decir, bueno, le dice el director, esto no me gusta tal, y dice, pues lo que hace un buen artista de concepto es decir, bueno, pero ¿qué es lo que no te gusta de esto? No simplemente sentarse y volver a trabajar y volver a hacer otra cosa nueva, sino ¿por qué no te gusta de esto? ¿Qué te parece esto? O que una de las cosas importantes del trabajo de artista de concepto es saber cómo interpretar el feedback, ¿no? Saber cómo interpretar las respuestas de la gente cuando muestras las piezas que estás creando.
You're not making, like, you're not Van Gogh or Rembrandt, right? You're trying to solve a problem for a client or your boss, and so, like, it's not about you or your feelings. It's about solving the problem.
Right.
things they don't tell you in art school.
Yeah, they
It's
don't.
like,
Claro, que dice que no, que el artista de concepto no se trata de ser un Rembrandt o un pintor famoso, ¿no? Que simplemente que no va de tus sentimientos o de tu creación o de que no sea adecuada, sino que simplemente se trata de resolver un problema para tu jefe o quien necesite ese tema, ¿no? O sea, se trata de aportar una solución, pues. No es de crear una pieza que sea la maravillosa pieza que ilustró al mundo y con su brillo, ¿no?
a factor of a successful concept artist is being able to interpret feedback, recognize what's applicable, figure out the things said and unsaid, and stuff like that, and work with that. It's all things that probably aren't taught in art school and require just experience.
By the way, Chance, this is a bazooka.
Yeah, I figured as much.
There has been a time where I added like I forgot which concept it was. But I just drew a random weapon on a character, and that got Chris really stoked. He was like, "Oh yeah, we should put that in the game." And I was like, I just could feel the eyes of like, you just added more work, Jeremiah. Just why don't you stay in your lane, stick to character? Like, I just wanted to do something cool. But,
Está comentando una historia de que le fue presentar un concepto a Chris Roberts en el que tenía un arma suya que había creado así rollo random, porque ahora estaba bromeando con que hizo un bazooka y demás. Y que luego como que recibieron una mirada fría de sus compañeros porque como que añadieron más trabajo en plan, porque Chris Roberts dijo que quería ese arma y que molaba mucho, ¿no? Pero evidentemente lo está comentando en plan de, o sea, esta gente tiene pasión por su trabajo, ¿vale? Les gusta trabajar en Star Citizen, es evidente.
I didn't eat lunch yet. I'm starving. I said I was going to do something crazy, and it's not crazy. It's probably the least crazy. Do I actually want the loincloth? I don't think I want it anymore.
I liked it.
You liked it? All right,
Yeah.
you're my boss. I'll keep
Something
it.
different.
One of the questions from the chat says, I noticed that you use the eyedropper a lot. Do you prefer that to the dodge and burn for shadows?
Yes. The reason why dodge and burn is, I recommend people not using that until they're at the very end of their rendering, because dodge and burn will take the saturation and the how do you call this? The saturation and the value of what's underneath, and will crank it up so you could potentially quote unquote burn your image, and it won't be salvageable if you do it too much. But the eyedropper also, like, it keeps me within, I'm only using colors and values that are within this painting, so I know it won't be too dark or too bright when I paint something on top of it. So.
Bueno, está diciendo de utilizar una técnica que se llama Burn para poner las sombras, que dice que por qué no lo usa. Dice que porque que no recomienda usarlo, porque esa técnica pues aplica efectos sobre la misma imagen en sí, y si lo usas demasiado llegas a un punto en que quizás no seas capaz de recuperar la imagen original.
So if you had to... That's interesting.
Yeah, I think like maybe like he was like strapping things on with like string or something. That's cool.
All right. So we've only got a couple minutes left, so why don't we take a look at all three?
Man, that looks terrible.
Present these three to your art director now. How would you present?
¿Cómo
these
presentarías
to-
estos tres a
to,
tu director de arte ahora
Chance?
mismo?
Wow.
What were your thoughts here?
Wait. Before this is a neat trick. I'll share my little industry secret. So I'll obviously number something, and if you have a favorite, right? So my second one's kind of my favorite. What I actually tend to do is I'll actually in secret. They don't teach you this in school. I'll like add a little bit of like this kind of. It's barely
Tiene un
noticeable,
favorito
but it's
como que
there.
iluminarlo ahí de
Just
esa
make it a
manera.
little brighter, a
Yeah,
little more
just darken-
attractive to the
just-
eye.
Just darken some of the
Tienes
things.
que esconder los otros. LOL.
Hey, what do you think?
Y así de esa manera dice
Wise
que no te
two
enseñan
tricks,
esto en la escuela, ¿no? Dice, ¿qué piensas? No, entonces oscurecí los
Did you
otros
know
para
he did
hacer
that,
el
Chance?
oscurecí los otros para hacer el paripé.
Not that Jeremiah does it, but yes, I know the technique.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we looking at here? How would you describe number one? How would you describe number two? How would you describe number three?
¿Cómo
So
describirías
number
lo-
one,
A ver.
honestly, if this were like a real, if I had to show Chance something, the professional side of me would actually do this.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Because I'm not confident with number one. I'm trying to warm up, and the ideas are kind of there, but it's kind of a little bit of a mess all over the place. So for me, I personally would do something like this. I wouldn't even include it. And if Chance asked me, like, do you have more? I'd be like, well, I started on this one, but I'm not confident in it, right? And so, like, number one, I think we have a little bit more of the alien.
Claro, dice que lo que harías para enseñárselo al director sería quitar el primero porque no se siente cómodo con él, no se siente tal. Y que en el caso de que le pidiera al director que si tiene algo más sí que se lo enseñaría, pero le diría que no se siente cómodo con él y le enseñaría solo los otros dos. Como que el primero era para calentar simplemente.
Accented on, it's not prominent on here, but the survivalist element is prominent on here with a little bit of string and stuff like that. And then we can add at least on the texture phase, add a little bit more, like bumps and show more of this type of stuff on here if I had more time.
Yeah, looking at it, I would say 3 is like Klingon Warrior, 2 is Weapon X Captain America, and 1 is Plo Koon from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but honestly though, like 1, I think if I pushed it, maybe if I spent like 30 more minutes on it, I can probably salvage it. But if I was on a tight deadline, I'd probably just like remove it.
Yeah, and the reality is, I think, like, we obviously need more time to to truly work on these things. And this is not something that we've.
Vale, dice que si probablemente tuviera más tiempo sería capaz de rescatar el primero, pero dice el director que, bueno, en general tenemos más tiempo para hacer estas cosas, digamos, más tiempo que hacerlo así tan rápido, ¿no?
You mean cranking out 3 concepts in less than an hour isn't the norm?
Depends.
Depends.
All right. Oh, you can go ahead and...
Actually, the RSI Explorer suit, the white one, that one I did in 45 minutes. That was just one sketch.
Está diciendo de que el traje de explorador de RSI, el blanco, que lo hizo en 45 minutos, porque estaban preguntando si todos los conceptos llevan sobre una hora, en plan bromeando, y no, que llevan más. Y depende de las cosas, y que bueno, que en ese caso, pues que el traje de RSI lo hizo en 45 minutos.
I have worked on projects where I just had to model a creature and had no concept whatsoever. So you never know. There's a lot.
You can stop your screen share, Jeremiah. All right. So thank you to Jeremiah and to Chance for taking your time to be here on the show with us this week. Chance, I hope you enjoyed your first foray into live broadcast for CIG. I promise it probably won't be the last.
That's fine. That was fun.
As we are wont to do, we're going to throw the host the raid over to a Star Citizen streamer who is streaming right now. I understand today's recipient of the Star Citizen Live Jeremiah Lee Memorial Raid is Cyborg Angel. Yes, I'm sorry, Jeremiah. You don't have long to live. I don't memorial. Cyborg Angel. Cyborg Angel is a British streamer. She's relatively new to the Star Citizen scene, but we're gonna like shake it up. Some old timers, some new timers. I understand that she's on PTU with Alpha 310 right now. So when you go and you see her, just tell her "Rip Jeremiah." And
Rip Jeremiah.
Rip Jeremiah.
Bueno, pues así estaría el Star Citizen Live. Van a redirigir el streaming, como siempre, a otros streamers de la comunidad. Y eso es todo por el Star Citizen Live. Vámonos a echar unas partiditas.